What's going on, folks? Welcome to the Dr. Kamal Jones Show. I am Dr. Kamal Jones. Fantastic to be with you another Wednesday. On today's episode, we're going to talk about why a decision made by the Trump administration to end protected status for hundreds of thousands of Haitians is expected to lead to concerning ripple effects across our entire U.S. healthcare system. Thank you, as always, for joining us. If you are not already subscribed, make sure you subscribe to the podcast, follow us so you can get the most up-to-date information on what's happening with our health and the systems that impact our well-being. So at the end of last year, the Trump administration signaled that they were going to be ending temporary protected status for hundreds of thousands of Haitians, as well as several thousand Syrian immigrants. This was set to take place in February of this year, February 2026. It was blocked by lower courts who said that the Trump administration didn't have the authority to do this, and it worked its way up through the appeal system to the Supreme Court. Just last week, on Thursday, the Supreme Court made a decision to uphold the Trump administration's right to be able to end temporary protected status when essentially they saw fit. So what does this actually mean? In this particular case, for 350,000 Haitian immigrants, it means that they are no longer going to have temporary protected status in this country. Temporary protected status, just to sort of break it down for you, it exists as a method to provide legal status in the country for immigrant groups who are coming from a country that has had some sort of political or natural disaster, which has made their country, for whatever reason, unsafe to live in. And so as a result, they get protected status. They can come here to the U.S. They can have immigration status. They can work and get work visas. They can live and be comfortable here in the U.S. Until their country is back on its feet and it is safe for them to return. In 2010, following the devastating earthquake that killed hundreds of thousands of people and displaced millions of people, the U.S. provided temporary protected status to Haitian immigrants. So you may be asking yourself, what does this have to do with our U.S. healthcare system? And the answer may surprise you. Of the 350,000 folks around the country who have temporary protected status, roughly a third of them are working in the healthcare sector. A third. For example, in Florida, about 30% of all home healthcare workers are Haitian immigrants. The people who are caring for our sick, our elderly, who are caring for folks throughout our hospital systems, in hospice, many of those people, especially in those states of Florida, New York, Massachusetts, are actually Haitian immigrants. To lose these Haitian immigrants on a dime, right, is expected to have significant ripple effects across healthcare. Listen to this. In Florida, 1199 SEIU, Florida's biggest healthcare union, they say that over 30% of their nursing home workers are slated to lose their legal status overnight. 30% of their represented healthcare workers. And so think about that, right? Think about what it means for, on a drop of a dime, a third of the healthcare workers in home health in some states, or thousands of the healthcare workers in nursing jobs across the country are to just, on the drop of a dime, disappear out of our system. This is slated to exacerbate already existing workforce shortages that are in place throughout healthcare systems across the country. It's deeply concerning and is something that is clearly not been thought out well by the Trump administration. And part of the reason we know this is because across the political aisle, there are Democrats and Republicans who have been saying, listen, regardless of whether you have the right to do this or not, please do not do this. Mike Lawler, who's a Republican who represents the suburbs of New York, he came out with a letter asking the Trump administration to reconsider this and citing the very fact that I stated, which is that a third of folks from Haiti with TPS status are working in the healthcare space, and that this is slated to have tremendous ripple effects across our healthcare space. I want you to hear some of the stories of a couple of these folks who have TPS status from Haiti and the integral role that they play within our healthcare system. These are coming out of a fantastic article in The Guardian. So listen to the story of Maurice Baltazar. She is a woman from Haiti who provides primary care for a 96-year-old woman named Esther Birnbaum. Maurice moved from Port-au-Prince following the 2010 earthquake. In Port-au-Prince, she was a journalist and the president of the Association of Haiti Women Journalists. And after moving to the U.S., she actually got a nursing assistant certificate and started working as a home health aide. She provides care for this 96-year-old woman. She provided care for Esther Birnbaum's elder brother, who passed away in 2024 at 102 years old. This quote from Esther really solidifies for me. It says, "I can't imagine my day-to-day life without her. I don't know how she does it, really. From hooking me up to my lymphatic drainage machine to keeping me active, it's all her." Birnbaum says that she would be devastated if Baltazar had to stop working. Here's another story about a woman named Marie Esther Duval. She herself is 55 years old. She moved to Washington State after working in nursing homes throughout the state of Florida. She moved to Washington to actually start a family home for adults, right? So a care home for adults who have a variety of illnesses or disabilities. She has a young woman with severe mental illness that she provides care for. She has another individual with schizophrenia who she provides care for. She has a third woman who has significant developmental delays who she cares for. And these women and folks who are living in her home rely on the care that she is providing for them on a daily basis. These stories are two of tens of thousands, right? There are people throughout the country who are relying on TPS status, who know that this moment is not a safe one for them to return to Haiti, and who are the backbone of healthcare systems throughout our country. This is another example of, frankly, the callousness of this administration when it comes to the life and well-being of immigrants in our country. And for all Americans, this is another example of a lack of priority when it comes to our healthcare system. Now, some people may be saying, which I understand, temporary protected status is temporary, right? It is not designed to be a forever option for immigrants. With that being said, I think it's super important to point out that it is designed to end when it is safe to return to a country. It is contradictory for the U.S. government to be able to say that it is now safe to return to Haiti when the U.S. government just recently updated its recommendations that people ought not to travel to Haiti at all because of political unrest, gangs that are running the country essentially at this point, no economic opportunity or minimal economic opportunities that are currently existing within the country, and a general lack of safety that millions and millions of people are facing throughout the country of Haiti right now. And so it's impossible to both simultaneously say that the country is safe to return to while saying that people should not be going to that country. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up. The only reason that we're seeing this, the only reason that the Trump administration made this decision is because of well-known and well-established xenophobia and racism that exists coming out of the Trump administration. They made a decision that they no longer wanted Haitians around. If you guys recall, this is around the same time that they were talking about people eating animals and stealing people's pets out of their homes and eating them and all of this other sort of ridiculousness. This was all leading up to the start of the Trump administration. They made it very clear what their values were when it came to Haitian immigrants and in general, people who are coming from countries that the Trump administration just deems are less than, that are not white enough, that are not rich enough, that he does not place value on. And I can speak to that from a little bit of experience. I went to Haiti in 2012. I went back again in 2015. Haiti, at that point, was a country that was in rebuild, but a beautiful country, a relatively safe place to be. Like any country, it had its pockets where you have to be careful, but it was in a much better place than where it is right now. So to make the declaration today in 2026 that it is safe to return to Haiti while simultaneously saying that it is not safe to return to Haiti, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't add up from a standpoint of someone who's objectively trying to look at the safety and timing of return to the country of Haiti. If you want to make a decision that temporary protected status no longer applies, you have to present reasoning for that actually makes sense. And you have to understand that if you're going to be removing human beings and putting them into a dangerous situation, and if you're going to be removing human beings out of these important roles that they are playing as members of our society, as folks who are upgirding our healthcare system, you need a plan in place that is not simply, all right, we're done with them, get out of here. Okay, so what happens next? So the lower courts are going to receive this decision from the Supreme Court. It's going to go down to the lower courts. The lower courts are then going to have to apply the decision that was made by the Supreme Court and give a termination date for TPS for these immigrants, Haitian immigrants and Syrian immigrants. About 350,000 or so Haitian immigrants, about 6,000 or so Syrian immigrants who are also being sent to awful conditions, just coming out of civil war, and really, again, folks who have just not been prioritized by this administration. The termination date for TPS is expected to be around the end of July or early August. So this is coming up in a few weeks. It is really whiplash for the hundreds of thousands of immigrants and families who are having to navigate this. So if you are a Haitian or Syrian who has had their TPS status revoked, or if you are a concerned citizen, here are the things that can happen next. First, for folks who are losing this TPS status, it's imperative to connect with an immigration lawyer. There are lawyers who are available through nonprofits if you are not able to afford one, and to be able to review your several different options. So things like family-based green cards, looking at applying for asylum, looking at applying for humanitarian visas. Obviously, I'm not a immigration lawyer, but these are some of the things that have come up as options to review with an immigration lawyer and see if you are able to qualify during this time. The second thing, and this is for all of us to do, is to engage with Congress. The way that this can be held off is for Congress to create legislation that determines that this group has either some form of permanent status or some alternative form of protected status outside of the TPS system. We've seen some bipartisan support from leadership in Massachusetts, like Elizabeth Warren and Ayanna Pressley, to folks like Mike Lawler in New York. There is some bipartisan appetite for this, but we know it's very difficult to get things to move through this Congress. And so it's going to take noise from all of us, and especially from folks in Florida, New York, and Massachusetts who have specific stories that you can articulate to your congressional representation for why this is so important and invaluable. We will definitely keep you updated on any results that come from efforts that are being made, any changes that are related to the TPS system, and of course, any ripple effects that take place within our healthcare system. Okay, my friends, that is our episode today. Thank you, as always, for tuning in with us. Make sure, if you're not already subscribed, please subscribe to the channel on YouTube. Please make sure to follow our podcast on any platform that you listen to podcasts. We need your support. Download the episodes. Listen to the audio and download the episodes. That really makes a big difference for us to be able to pursue this work to the highest degree. Thank you for tuning in. We will catch you next week, Wednesday. This is the Dr. Kamal Jones Show.